Close to nailing as Georgia escaped Tennessee in a close one. We give you the scoop on their overtime win.
Two horses clashed yesterday at Lucas Oil as the Colts walked off the Broncos. We tell you how this high-scoring affair came to fruition.
It was an awesome hitting fest in Boston as they took down the Aaron Judge Yankees. We give you the recap and more as a brand new episode of Sports Corner starts right now. From the Franklin Hall studio on the campus of Kent State University, this is Sports Corner alongside Maddox Miller. I'm Evan Schofield. Maddox, Kent Athletics kept making strides in their campaigns, giving us a lot to cover.
That is absolutely right, Evan. And to start, we're going to head up north for a trip to Canada as the Kent State men's golf team continues to compete in the Canadian Collegiate that started yesterday. Currently, the Flashes sit 9th in the 11-team field, but sophomore Flash Isaiah Ibbett leads individual golfers by shooting 10 under. Yesterday, he finished 2 strokes short of matching the best round in Kent State men's golf history. The event will conclude tomorrow as both Ibbett and Kent State look to finish strong.
Kent State soccer dropped a tough 2-1 decision on the road Sunday against Bowling Green in their conference opener. The Falcons struck first in the 35th minute before the Flashes responded early in the second half with a header from Kelsey Salopik. Bowling Green's Emma Strandsky nodded her second goal in the 58th minute to seal the win. Kent State outshot the Falcons 16-7 and led 9-4 in corners, but couldn't find the equalizer. The Flashes wrap up their road trip next Sunday against Ball State.
The Kent State field hockey team took a trip to University Park, Pennsylvania for a game against 17th-ranked Penn State yesterday. Kent State came up short, losing 2-5 to drop their record to 1-4. The first goal for the Flashes was scored by junior forward Maybritt Duell as she got her 4th of the season. The second was netted by junior midfielder Ava Usoth for her 2nd of the year. Looking ahead, the Flashes will be heading over to Massachusetts as they open up their conference play with a match up on Friday against UMass.
The Kent State football came up just short in their MAC opener, falling 31-28 to Buffalo at Dick's Stadium. The Flashes built a 14-0 lead behind a Maury Stevens touchdown run and a Drew DeShields strike to Cade Wolford. The Bulls rallied through, though, taking control in the third quarter. DeShields 279 yards and 2 scores, adding a rushing touchdown, but a last-minute drive ended with a fumble that sealed the loss. Kent State drops to 1-2 and now heads to Florida State next Saturday.
And we're going to welcome in our new friend Evan. Welcome to the desk for the first time on Sports Corner. We are so happy to have you here.
I'm Josh.
He's Josh.
You're Josh?
Yeah.
Josh,
Oh my goodness.
That's
You're Evan.
Hi, nice
I'm
to meet you. I'm
Maddox.
Evan.
You're Josh.
Josh. What's going
It
on,
is
buddy?
a pleasure to have you on the desk here. We're going to start out with some of the Kent State football game on Saturday against Buffalo. Tough loss, but what did you like to see from the Flashes?
I mean, the Flashes showed a lot of heart in that game. You know, I was on overtime with Gage. We were talking about how it was a litmus test for sure going forward with, you know, the conference, see what the new regime's on about. And I would say they passed it.
I would absolutely have to agree. Last week I was saying all I hope is for this game to be competitive, and it absolutely was.
It was.
They have some easier games on the schedule. Buffalo usually a good MAC team, so UMass and Akron are games that seem absolutely winnable for the Flashes. Evan, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, 100%, Maddox. I thought, like we said, they made it competitive, and I saw a lot, I would say a lot more from the offense than the defense. Preferably the offense, just because we're seeing consistency, specifically in Cade Wolford, the wide receiver, who leads the team in touchdowns. And honestly, I think we're seeing a Drew DeShields starting quarterback spot. I don't think that's ever going to change again. I think once MAC play gets going more with UMass, I think we're just going to see him constantly improve.
And speaking of Drew DeShields, did you guys know he could punt?
I guess so.
I was sitting there, I was at the game and I was sitting there and I was like, man, are we really going to go for this? And then a little pooch punt.
It was good punt too. Pinned him back.
great punt.
Yeah.
He made plays on the ground, made plays in the air. He had a few rushing touchdowns, a few passing
22 of
touchdowns.
32.
Yeah, he looked good.
Great game.
First ever career start, and at home helps. So hopefully they can continue that success forward. We're going to flip to the defensive side of the ball because they had a really strong first quarter, but it seemed like after that things kind of got a little shaky. What did you see from the defense?
I mean, the defense, the run game was great. I mean, they stuffed them when they needed to. They played a good, I would say 75% of the game. It was just the end of both halves where they folded. You know, Drew Shields had that big touchdown on 4th and 1, and I thought Kent was going to take it, and then the defense just Swiss cheese there on that last drive.
Yeah,
Right.
it was. What did you see, especially in those last those two 2-minute drills to end the half? What were some of the things that kind of caught your eye?
I saw a team that was trying to rally and trying to get a good win, but in the end, Buffalo was the better team. They were the better defense. They were able to stop a lot of what Kent was doing, and frankly, I think they're very capable of bouncing back. The defense, especially against UMass this coming Saturday. So I think those are all things that are, I wouldn't say disappointing, but more encouraging for the next time we see the Flashers play.
No, I absolutely agree. If they can get a little more pass rush, I think that would go a long way into helping their defense. But we do have other sports going on here at Kent State. The field hockey team, they have been through a brutal stretch of games, playing some big opponents.
It doesn't get easier.
No, tell us about that.
So they're going to be playing UMass, who just actually went up against number 4 Boston, and they beat them. So Kent's going to need the best of luck.
And do you think as we get away from ranked opponents, do you think in the future that field hockey can maybe take a leap, or just something offensively, we can see something on the field?
I mean, with experience, you would hope that against easier competition, it would take a step up. So, I mean, that definitely will be something we should look out for.
Yeah, I mean, they played ranked Ohio State, ranked Iowa, ranked Penn State, UMass, number 14 in the country. So they're playing some really good top 20 teams, but hopefully that will create some momentum going forward. But that's all the time we have for you, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Yes, thank you so much, Josh. We look forward to having you on here in the future. Well, Texas A&M faced off against Notre Dame on Saturday. We have the details on how the Aggies brought home the win against the Fighting Irish in this nail-biter of a game.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.
Welcome back. College football always has its twists and turns, but there's so much to cover, and that's why we have the help of Dimitri Manousos. With that being said, let's go campus to campus, where we saw quite the upset in Georgia Saturday. We're in Bobby Dodd Stadium, Clemson trying to bounce back. Here we go. Won't start pretty, allowing 3 points to Georgia Tech. Clemson goes on to miss a field goal, and Georgia Tech up 3. Haynes King, look at that handoff to Jamal Haynes for a 5-yard touchdown. Yellow Jackets up 10-0. Hayden Burr's going to nail this 42-yarder as well. 13 unanswered from Georgia Tech. 4th and goal before the half. It's senior Cade Klubnik. He's in. Georgia Tech up 13-7. Third quarter, back to Klubnik. What can he do? Play action, fires. It's caught by Bryant Wesco. And Wesco goes the distance on the touchdown. 126 yards on the day for Wesco. Clemson goes up a point. Now Georgia Tech answers right back, so Adam Randall is going to say hello. First 6, that's a tie game with an extra point, and it all comes down to this. Georgia Tech can pull the upset to go 3-0. The 55-yarder kick is on the way. That kick is good. Georgia Tech takes it 24-21. They upset Clemson, and they fall all the way down.
We're going to take a trip to Rocky Top, where the Tennessee Volunteers welcome in the Georgia Bulldogs. 21-7 already in the second quarter, and on third down, Gunnar Stockton finds Zachariah Branch, who's going to do the rest of the work, gets to the end zone, makes it 14-21. They get a field goal, and Josh McCray would take the lead for the Bulldogs here in the third. 24-21, 27-21. Third quarter, Joey Aguilar going to let it fly. A little bit of a push off, but they didn't call it, as Chris Brazel II would get his third touchdown on the game. Now down 2 here in the fourth. Aguilar going to let it fly again, and Braylon Staley's going to be on the receiving end of this one. Now down 8, 4th and 6. Gunnar Stockton going to let it fly, and he's going to find London Humphreys in the end zone, but Tennessee with a chance to win it, and oh no, Max Gilbert pushes it way wide. Bet they wish they had Georgia Tech's kicker. In overtime, Josh McCray plunges into the end zone to win this one for the Bulldogs, 44-41. A huge ranked SEC road win for Kirby Smart and the Dogs.
And that continued throughout the game. First possession, Texas A&M, that punt is blocked, and Notre Dame scoops it up and takes it in for the early 7-0 lead. A few possessions later, Marcel Reed off of play action on a half roll finds Mario Craver wide open. Down the sideline he went, and poor tackling allowed him to spring free for all of 86 yards and a touchdown to tie the game at 7-7. Later in the first half, Notre Dame up 17-14. C.J. Carr found Jeremiah Love wide open out of the backfield, and he took it the distance to put the Irish up 10. But late in the first half, direct snap to Le'Veon Moss puts the Aggies back on top right before halftime. Fourth quarter, tie game. Jeremiah Love bowls over defenders and scores, but there was trouble with the extra point, and the lead stayed at 6. Last chance for the Aggies. Marcel Reed pump fakes, and he found Nate Berkshire for the touchdown and the win for the Texas A&M Aggies.
That one was fun, but here we have all eyes on Garrett Nussmeier trying to add to his senior campaign. Got to take this team to 3-0. Each team has a field goal. Nussmeier has time, fires. That's Davion Thomas for the 23-yard touchdown. LSU up 10-3. Other quarterback, DJ Lagway, trying to find his rhythm. He has Aiden Mizell in the corner tie game. LSU, they're looking slow, but so is Florida. Lagway is going to drop back, and that is picked off by A.J. Halsey, the safety, down the sideline. Lagway isn't going to catch him. That's a pick 6. LSU up big, 20-10. Fourth quarter, Lagway trying to make up for it. He's going to fire, and that is picked off again to Marcus Cooley, his 3rd of the day. Touchback and same score. 2 minutes coming up. Lagway is going to run for his life, and he's going to misfire. That's DJ Pickett, the 5th pick for Lagway in the game, and that will do it. LSU defense steps up. LSU hangs on to go 3-0. They play Southeastern Louisiana next week. Well, thank you again for joining us, Dimitri. So that game was eventful, but definitely leaves a bad taste in Florida's mouth. So I wanted to know your immediate thoughts on Billy Napier, the head coach.
I think his time at Florida is coming to an end.
Okay.
I don't necessarily think it should. It's a brutal schedule. We knew that. But I think because of the way they ended last year, they won a few games. They pulled a couple upsets. They beat LSU, and then they beat Ole Miss. They won, I believe, 4 straight games in the season. And now you come out, you lose at South Florida, and now you're losing to LSU. I would have to think they're going to lose to Miami next week. That puts him at 1-3. He's under 500 now at his time in Florida. I think they're going to let him go soon.
So I do want to ask, Lagway, a lot of hype coming into this year. It feels like he's underperforming a lot. It feels like Florida, for the longest time, hasn't been able to find a quarterback. So how much of this are you placing on Napier, and how much of the struggles this season are you placing on the lack of good quarterback play that Florida has seen in previous years?
I would say it's both. You know, I think Napier's not getting the job done, and I think Lagway's not as well. But part of that is coaching. So I think it's mostly on Billy Napier. We saw the raw talent last year that Lagway has, And like I said, at the end of the year, I thought we saw him develop a bit, but he really struggled in that South Florida game, and he obviously struggled with 5 interceptions against LSU. So I think Napier is not getting all of what he can out of Lagway, and I think Lagway just isn't playing up to his potential either.
Right, and it's you know, it's early in the season, but we're looking at Florida, and they're dead last in the SEC.
Yeah.
You know, they're not going anywhere. And Lagway, I understand you can say about coaching, but 5 interceptions, sometimes you have to draw the line between, is it really coaching and is it really just him making these silly mistakes that you shouldn't be making? You know, when you're dropping back, when you're throwing passes that you could easily just throw away and they're getting picked off. That's not stuff you see from a quarterback that has gotten as much hype as Lagway. So I don't know, what do you think about this?
It's really hard because you want to say it's all on one guy or
Right.
the other, and it just feels like a mismatch. It feels like Napier and Lagway just aren't on the same level. We've seen, like, Anthony Richardson came in, and I feel like they have some kind of similarities. Lagway has a seemingly lack of ball security, especially against LSU, so that makes it really tough as LSU continues to maintain their top 5 spot in the AP poll, which, speaking of Notre Dame, 0-2, but 24th in the AP poll. What are your thoughts on that?
A lot of people are upset. This is the first time in decades that a team has been 0-2 and is still in the top 25. My thing with it is this. Are there 25 teams that I think would beat Notre Dame? For me, the answer is no. So I have no problem with them being in the top 25. I think Marcus Freeman obviously knows they have a lot of work to do. They made a lot of just mental errors against Texas A&M. I think he'll clean that up, and I think they might start climbing again soon.
Yeah, and you got to think that after playing all these ranked opponents, they can probably take a second and just relax, because they know they don't have these crazy teams to play, you know, going down the stretch. And obviously it's going to be a hard season starting off this way, but I guess it's kind of like a weight taken off your shoulders.
It is.
If that makes sense.
And right now for them, they can't play another ranked team because they really can't. They haven't shown that they can beat them. So another ranked game might end their playoff hopes. And right now their playoff hopes already in jeopardy at 0-2. And now the problem with not having a tough schedule is 10-2 going to be good enough to get into the playoffs when you don't really have those great wins? USC cracked the top 25, so maybe that can be a ranked win for Notre Dame should they win that game. But let me ask, Maddox, do you think 10-2 Notre Dame, do you think they should be in, and do you think they would make it?
I think what's really tough is they don't play in a conference.
Right.
There's no conference championship. You can't say, oh, they're 10-2, but at least they won the conference. At least they won the SEC. At least they won the Big Ten. There's nothing. You can win out, and it may just not matter. Because you're right, USC may be the one ranked win on their schedule if they even stay ranked. That's a late game season, I believe.
It's in a bit.
So I would not see a 10-2 Notre Dame team, even if they win every game by 35 plus. I would not see them in the college football playoffs, and I think that's really tough for a team that made the national championship. But quite frankly, it's the truth of the matter. Thank you so much, Dimitri, for all the insight on college football. But we're going to go from the college to the professional level as the Eagles flew down to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs in Arrowhead Stadium. Find out how the Eagles were able to sneak out with a win in this Super Bowl rematch.
Welcome to Kent Core.
Kent Core?
Kent Core. To Kent Core.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work, and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to cisa.gov/secure-our-world.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars. Really tall. I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands? Yes. You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, did you know that 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Go to theshelterpetproject.org and search your local shelters and rescues. Go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Well, week 2 in the NFL has concluded almost. And yes, we have the latest, joined by Lucas Foote and Zach Svensson. Thanks for joining us, guys. It was quite literally a horse race to get the win in Indy, so let's head there first.
Well, it's a game out. Oh.
Lucas Colts and Broncos packed house. Each team is 1-0. First drive for the Broncos. Nick's down the sideline. Has Marvin Mims in the end zone for 6. Denver up 7-3. Danny Dimes, second quarter. He sneaks it in for his own touchdown. Colts up 6. But that won't last for long as Nick's. He dealt today. He fires at Detroit Franklin to go up 1. Back to Nick's before the half. He had 3 passing touchdowns today. That one is to Alex Trotman. Broncos lead 21-13. Danny before the half, he's got another dime to Jonathan Taylor, 2:15 scrimmage yards for him. Indy cuts the lead to 1. Third quarter, OSU product J.K. Dobbins with a new team scores 4-6. Broncos up 8. Broncos defense holds Indy to 3, and it lies on Nick's to get it done. And he's going to drop back, and that is tipped and picked off. Cam Bynum, that'll set up the Colts for Spencer Schrader to drill it. Colts win 29-28. They are 2-0.
Anticipated game this week, a rematch of last year's Super Bowl between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Eagles up 7-0. Harrison Butker cuts the lead with a 56-yard field goal. 7-3 Eagles. Patrick Mahomes looking for receivers, but instead rolls right and rushes toward the end zone, getting a block from Hollywood Brown, dives in at the pylon. Chiefs take a 10-7 lead, but the Eagles would fight back. Jake Elliott nailing a 56-yarder, just getting in before the half, tied up at 10. Fast forward to the fourth quarter, Eagles leading 13-10. The maybe legal tush push. Are the Eagles fall starting every time? Probably. Jalen Hurts runs it in. 20-10 Eagles. The Chiefs not done. 1st and 20. Just over 3 minutes to go. Mahomes launches it, finds Tyquan Thornton in the end zone. A 49-yard touchdown pass, but the Eagles hold on and survive and improve to 2-0.
Well, now it's my highlight. We take a trip to AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys had a barn burner against the Giants 13-10 here in the third quarter as Javonte Williams, the former Bronco, rushes all the way into the end zone. Fourth quarter now, down 3. Miles Sanders reaches the end zone, now down 4 New York. Russell Wilson with that ageless moon ball gets it to Wan'Dale Robinson to make it a 3-point game, but with under a minute left, Dak Prescott would find the new Cowboy, George Pickens, in the end zone. Now Dallas up 4, 34-30. Russell Wilson said, "I did it once, I'll do it again." Gets it to the former LSU man Malik Neighbors to take a 3-point lead, but Dallas would drive all the way down into field goal range. Well, maybe not field goal range, but certainly Brandon Aubrey range, as he's going to nail this 64-yarder to send it to overtime. Both teams would have some possessions, but with 37-37, Brandon Aubrey would hit a 46-yard game winner to get the Dallas home opening win and push the Cowboys to 1-1.
We head down to beautiful Hard Rock Stadium for an AFC East Division matchup between the Patriots and Dolphins. Tua steps back, finds Devon Achane over the middle with the Texas route. He fights his way into the end zone, making it 20-15. After a few Riley Patterson field goals, Drake May takes the snap and is immediately pressured, rolls right, and finds the end zone. Now backed up in their own end zone, the Pats punt. Here on his own 26-yard line, Malik Washington hits the far sideline, breaks a few tackles, looks like he's in Madden, hitting a couple buttons, couple spin moves. He finds the far sideline, 1 tackle to break, he breaks it, and he'll go all the way for the 74-yard touchdown. Now 27-23. On the following kickoff, Antonio Gibson takes the kick from his own 10-yard line, and he goes 90 yards into the end zone. Returning the favor, the Patriots lead 30-27. They would end up taking this one by a final of 33-27, getting their first win on the season, and the Dolphins head to 0-2.
Well, 0-2 for the Dolphins. That's pretty insane. Well, thanks, guys, again for joining us. Before we started getting into topics of the NFL, I wanted to talk about score predictions. We have a game obviously going on right now. I don't have a score update, but we got Bucs and Texans right now. I kind of wanted to get your honest thoughts about that, whoever wants to start.
I got the Buccaneers in this one. It's in Houston, but Baker Mayfield and just the elite wide receivers and Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka that he has to work with, they got no shot of getting beat tonight.
Right.
I'd like to see with the Texans on the other side, getting Nico Collins more in there, Jaden Higgins, the rookie wide receiver, getting him more involved, but also getting Nick Chubb more involved, see how he can work without Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon out, we'll see Nick Chubb on the ground tonight.
I personally am going to rock with Houston. I really like what C.J. Stroud has done in his very short NFL career. I like what DeMeco Ryans has built. I think Houston's going to take this primetime victory.
Yeah, I got to ride with Baker Mayfield for sure. I know a lot of Browns fans aren't going to like. I mean, I'm sure they're all pretty big fans. Everyone loves Baker Mayfield. Everyone loves the weapons he has. The defense obviously is a big contributor. What about the Chargers in Vegas? That happens at I think 10 p.m. I believe,
yeah,
which is really late.
Monday night game.
What are we thinking?
I gotta say, I love these 2 Monday night games. I enjoy it personally, but winning tonight, give me the Raiders. Geno Smith, quarterback. I just think he's gonna be able to get that win tonight. Chargers, they did beat the Chiefs week 1, but they won't get it done tonight.
I like Ashton Genty and the Raiders, but I love me some Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert gonna find Ladd McConkey, hopefully. The defense has looked good against the Chiefs, and the offense has looked even better. Justin Herbert using his legs more, finding Ladd McConkey. I want to see Omarion Hampton get more involved, the rookie running back that they just got. But I like the Jim Harbaugh offense ever since he's come in there, getting Justin Herbert more relaxed and letting him play the way he should be.
Yeah, what do you think about this one, Evan?
Yeah, Maddox. I'm a big fan of the Chargers this year. Big fan of Jim Harbaugh. Big fan. One name you didn't mention, Quentin Johnston. Big fan. I think he can have a resurgence here, just being a good weapon for Justin Herbert when Ladd maybe double covered or something. So give me the Chargers to take this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to leave you as the lone Raiders supporter here. Chargers were absolutely phenomenal against the Chiefs, and I think they're going to continue to do what they did against Kansas City, which, speaking of Kansas City, 0-2. You went to the Super Bowl last year, and now you've dropped a division game in week 1, and then you lose the Super Bowl rematch. So can any of you two please tell me what is going on with the Kansas City Chiefs?
We're begging you, please.
Well, first time I believe I saw since 2014 they've lost 3 games in a row. They're 0-2 to start the year for the first time in the Patrick Mahomes era. Mahomes, really, they lose Xavier Worthy on the first drive against the Chargers, and the Mahomes and Kelsey combo has just fallen short. It really hasn't been able to pick up whatsoever this season, and they're going to need that to pick up without Rashee Rice the first 6 games. They lose Xavier Worthy. He might be coming back next week against the Giants, but they really need Mahomes and Kelsey to pick it up, and they also, Isaiah Pacheco has not been able to do anything. Mahomes, the leading rusher on the Chiefs as the quarterback.
What do you see happening?
Now the one thing I can say about the Chiefs, it's not like they've lost to, like, let's say they lose to the Browns. If the Chiefs lost to the Browns, would be like, okay, what's going on with the Chiefs?
Right.
But they've lost to 2 really good teams. The Chargers, Justin Herbert, really good quarterback. And then the Eagles, Super Bowl champs, they have all the weapons. I'm not too worried about the Chiefs. 0-2, not as hard to come back from as maybe 0-3, 0-4. So they have a whole lot of season to go, and even if they sneak in as a wild card team, they're going to be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, luckily they do get to play the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football. That's a big help. Even though the Giants did play well against Dallas, I do very quickly, yes or no, that's it. Do the Chiefs win their division?
No.
It's a very tough division. I'd like to say the Chargers win, so no.
No.
I think this might. Chargers, I know the Broncos had a really tough loss against the Colts, but this might just be the year for the Chargers. It feels like the pieces are starting to click. It's just one game, though. So for all we know, they can go out against Las Vegas and just stink it up, and all of a sudden it's, well, the Chiefs are back and we're all good.
Yeah, and again, it's only week 2. I mean, obviously, 2 big issues have come from Travis Kelce, hitting Xavier Worthy in the shoulder, dropping that ball that got picked off by Andrew Makuba, the rookie in Philly. Honestly, you can't not trust the Chiefs, so at least work on it and get better. They don't fall flat for too long. I think they have time to, definitely just make things better overall. So I trust in them, but I don't think they're division winners.
No, I agree. And with Patrick Mahomes, it's hard to see them not as winners. And speaking of AFC quarterbacks, big news coming out of Cincinnati. Joe Burrow suffers turf toe that he has to have surgery on. It's going to put him out for 3 months. So the question I want to ask, is the Bengals season already dead? They're 2-0, but it feels like their season just got all that life sucked out of it.
I mean, even week 1, when we watched them against the Browns, that was almost, if the Browns kicker doesn't miss the field goals, the Browns win that game, and the Bengals are 1-1. So their defense already struggles, so now you lose your stud quarterback. It's going to be tough to make up.
What I've seen is they might be in the market for a quarterback, maybe Shadur Sanders.
Whoa, bomb.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Somebody like that, or you go look for another backup on somebody else's team, maybe Jacoby Brissett. I don't know where he's at, but he's someone I've seen. And then, but they really, their defense is not that well. But
Well, thanks a lot. That was a great talk. Appreciate you guys. Up next, there's some sports we simply can't leave out of the show. With more, our own Stone O'Brien wants to set a few things straight. Stone?
Yes, Evan, I have a lot I want to set in stone. I'll be getting on my mind into what's on my mind in sports. And tonight, college football and the WNBA. First off on my mind, bad college quarterback play. DJ Lagway was absolutely awful on Saturday, throwing 5 picks, and the picks were all his fault. Staring down covered receivers, throwing into triple coverage, throwing into impossible windows. I can count a ton of things wrong with the performance. In addition, Buffalo's Taquan Roberson threw an absolutely awful interception that was nowhere near the Buffalo receiver and lost a fumble in the red zone after being gifted excellent field position on a blocked punt. Arch Manning as well, all the hype, and he's been a big-time dud, drawing boos after throwing 10 straight incompletions this weekend at one point against UTEP. Kate Klubnik has also not looked the part, losing 2 contests and struggling to put Troy away. But with it still being early, there's still time to turn it around. Arch Manning and the tough schedule to close out the season could result in him being a Heisman contender again by the time things are done. Lagway also has time to turn it around, as the only way up from rock bottom is up. From the Heisman Award to some WNBA awards, the Rookie of the Year races between Paige Beckers and Sonia Citrone. Beckers, the #1 pick in the draft class, became an instant star, averaging over 19 points a game, good for 5th best in the league. She also dropped the league's only 40-point game of the season with a rookie record 44 against Los Angeles. Citrone, however, has a 55% true shooting percentage and is, along with Beckers, one of 3 players to score 650 points. My pick for Rookie of the Year, defense wins championships and Beckers' defense wins her the award. The MVP race is between Asia Wilson and Nafisa Collier. Asia dominated to close the season, averaging 26 and 12 to close out the season on a 16-game winning streak. Collier dropped 22 and had a 50-40-90 season, which is 50% field goal percentage, 40% on the three-point, and 90% from the free throw. I think the MVP will go to Wilson, however, in part of just because how dominant she closed the season out. Lastly, the WNBA playoffs got underway yesterday, and in a day with ton of action, 2 clear favorites emerged. The Minnesota Lynx and Las Vegas Aces. The Lynx fell behind early but used 20 points from Nafisa Collier and 18 from Natasha Heidemann to easily dispatch the Valkyries by nearly 30 points. In the nightcap, however, an arguably even more dominant performance took place. Las Vegas absolutely dismantled the Seattle Storm, and Asia Wilson had the defenders looking like barbecue chicken out there, scoring on at least 5 different defenders in the first half. In the other 2 games of the day, the Liberty began their championship defense with an overtime win on the road, led by 23 from Natasha Cloud and clutch shots from Brianna Stewart. Lastly, the Atlanta Dream closed out both halves strong and taking down the Indiana Fever. Both Vegas and Atlanta will have a chance to close out their series tomorrow. Evan, I hope this sets things straight. For KSTV, I'm Stone O'Brien.
It sure did, Stone. The New York Mets hosted the Texas Rangers at Citi Field last night. We'll tell you how the Mets were able to power through in extra innings to walk away with the win.
I don't remember how it started. Our back and forth. Victory. Fumble. Repeat. It always came back.
Okay, here we go, throw it! Yeah.
You probably don't remember what you told me.
Oh my God. Should they get off the desk? Because this toss to Gage comes to the desk, and they're just going to be like sitting here awkwardly.
How can you hate Star Wars?
Kung Fu Panda.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Here for a late night walk.
Yes.
Late night walks around
Oh my
campus.
gosh.
Not
I always, you know, like the swing.
Student center.
What?
Wait, care, you mean like healthcare?
Cares Center.
Student center.
Where you can get support.
Is it okay over there? Is that good?
Jackie boy, look, we have been through a lot together.
Hurry up before this rain, this rain goes away.
Well, it's just,
Tonight's Sports Corner is going on a trip with the debut of a new segment.
That's right, Gage Wellman is here to take us across the globe to break down headlines in the world of international sports. Gage?
From one host to two others, thank you very much, gentlemen. As they said, I'm Gage Wellman, and yes, you've all got a ticket to ride for a trip throughout Wellman's world. Let's start in the world of boxing, and before I get into Crawford versus Canelo, I would be remiss to not mention the passing of British boxing legend Ricky Hatton, who passed away yesterday at the age of 46. Hatton left a remarkable legacy in the world of boxing. He was a two-weight world champion, winning titles at the light welter and welterweight divisions. Hatton's passing has already sent shockwaves throughout the international community of boxing. He will truly be missed. Shifting to Saturday, Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford met in Las Vegas for the fight of a generation in the super middleweight world championship. In a 12-round decision victory, Crawford, the now three-weight champion, cemented himself in boxing history with the likes of Ali, Mayweather, and Iron Mike Tyson. Let's go across the pond. A different kind of football is underway. Here in the States, we call it soccer, but for the sake of not brutally offending our non-American viewers, for the rest of the segment, I'll be calling this sport football. In the Premier League, we saw match day 4 of 38 yesterday, and heated rivals Manchester City and Manchester United squared off, with Man City taking this contest 3-0. A few teams off to hot starts in the Premier League are Liverpool, starting out undefeated at 4-0, and Arsenal, similarly 3-0 in Germany's Bundesliga. Champions League hopeful and reigning champion Bayern Munich won a 5-0 match over Hamburg SV. The latter was just recently promoted after years of playing in the lower leagues. And finally, Wellman's World takes us to Tokyo, Japan for the Track and Field World Championships, where 16-year-old American Cooper Lutkenhouse made his professional debut in the men's 800-meter dash. Cooper had to miss his English literature class, which I'm sure he was just heartbroken over. Lutkenhouse, he shocked the world when he finished second among world-class professional athletes. And now, I really want to let this sink in for the audience. A 16-year-old competed with real-deal track athletes. Some of these guys will be in Los Angeles for the 2028 Summer Olympics. What were you doing when you were a junior in high school? I was dreading lunch and dreading Mr. Flippy X jewelry and enameling class. Oh God, I hated that class. But Cooper Lutkenhouse has exceeded expectations, and I hope to see him 3 years from now in California. Well, that wraps up our trip overseas. I'm Gage Wellman, KSTV. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Gage. Well, the MLB regular season is winding down, and we had an exciting weekend. And tonight, we are joined by Lexi Blatnick and C.O. Parker to help us navigate the action. But before we get to the highlights, the Cleveland Guardians took on the White Sox this weekend and capped off the 3-game sweep with a 3-2 win. Bo Naylor had all the offense for the Guardians, scoring a 2-run double in the bottom of the 4th and a solo shot home run in the bottom of the 7th. Slade Ciccone was on the bump for Cleveland, pitching 5.2 innings and allowing 2 runs, but striking out 4. Next up for the Guards is a 3-game road set against the Tigers as Cleveland tries to claw their way into the playoffs.
Well, it's a beautiful sunny afternoon in Flushing, New York. Game 3 of Rangers-Mets. You can't see them. Bottom of the 5th, 0-2 for Juan Soto. He grounds to first. Francisco Alvarez safe. Upon replay, that is confirmed. He is safe. That was super close. Puts the Mets up 1-0. Bottom of the 6th, 2 strikes for Brandon Nimmo. That goes deep, and that ball is out of here. Mets now lead by 2. Top of the 7th, Jock Peterson with a 1-2 count. He smacks it into right. Going to bring home 2 here. Michael Hellman and Josh Smith, the 2 RBIs. It is a tie game. Now we're going to head to extra innings. This one has been fun. Pete Alonso, 0-3 count. That ball is soaring. It's out of here. Alonso walks it off for the 3-run homer. New York wins 5-2. Series sweep for the Mets. They're going to take on the Padres tomorrow night, so be ready.
We're going to stay on the East Coast as we take a trip up to Boston. 1-0 as the Red Sox took on the Yankees. Now 2-0 in the bottom of the first. It would be Romy Gonzalez scoring Trevor Story as he rocks this one to right field. The RBI for Gonzalez to put Boston up 3-0. They'd actually score 2 more runs in this inning and actually make that 3 as Carlos Narvaez rocks this one out to center field. A rough first inning for the Yanks, but top of the 4th, it would be Ahmed Rosario getting to get Garrett Crochet as he tried to get this one over the monster. It would just hit the top, but a 2-run home run nonetheless. Yankees trying to rally. MVP, most likely favorite, Aaron Judge, is going to hit this one to maybe the shortest part of the field, reminding him of Yankee Stadium as he gets this one into right field. 3-6 now. It would be Jose Caballero hitting a solo shot in the top of the 7th. Now 6-4, this one over the monster, but that would be all the offense for the Yankees as Aroldis Chapman would shut down New York with a 101 fastball. Sox take this one 6-4.
We take you to the top of the 2nd at American Family Field, where the Cardinals are up against the Milwaukee Brewers. Fairmean hits it, pops it right up to center as Nolan Gorman rounds the bases and makes it home. Still in the top of the 2nd, Church hits a grounder to the infield, which is lost by Ryan Hopkins. Jordan Walker scores, making it a 3-0 ball game. Bottom of the 4th, Caleb Durbin at bat, homer to left field. It is gone. That makes it a 3-1 game and cuts the lead down to 2. In the bottom of the 5th, however, Danny Jensen as well hits it to left center, and it is good. That is a 3-2 game, making the lead a 1-point lead for the St. Louis Cardinals. However, the game ends at the bottom of the 9th with Riley O'Brien striking out Sal Frelick swinging. This is the Cardinals win, ending their 5-game losing streak, and they are now 1.5 games behind the Cincinnati Reds.
And we're taking you to a rubber match here at Wrigley Field as the Chicago Cubs take on the Tampa Bay Rays. It's the top of the 1st, and Junior Caminero absolutely smacks this ball to center field. Tampa extends their lead 2-0. We're keeping you here in the bottom of the 1st, and Nico Herner just hits a single, and that allows Michael Busch to score. Chicago cuts the lead by 1. It's the top of the 3rd, and Josh Lowe bunts to a pitcher, and that allows Brandon Lowe to score. Now we're moving to the bottom of the 6th, and Ian Happ homers to left field. Score is now 3-2 Tampa Bay. Bottom of the 7th, and Herner makes a name for himself this game as he doubles to left field. Willie Castro and Matt Shaw score. Cubs now lead Tampa Bay 4-3. We're moving to the top of the 9th, and Caminero is looking to get something for his team, and he misses.
Well, the season is winding down, and with that comes award season, a different type of season. We have MVPs, we have Cy Youngs, we have Rookie of the Years across 2 divisions. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on this MVP race. Starting in the AL, who do you guys have taking the crown?
As you mentioned, the favorite would be Aaron Judge. However, it is a very tight competition between Aaron Judge and Cal Riley. While Aaron Judge is most likely the favorite statistically, compared as when it comes to importance to the team, there is an argument to be made for Cal Raleigh, which is why I will be choosing him. I like the big dumper. I like what he's doing, and I think I think he has more homers, and I'm going to give him that.
Yep. Okay. Homers do matter, but what do you have to say?
I'll play devil's advocate. I do want the big number to win the MVP, but Aaron Judge was also out, so we can't really play who has more home runs because injuries, right? Mm-hmm. But I have NL, he has AL. Oh. We kind of, we didn't tell you, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes. So heading over, let's get this NL discussion going again, and we'll kind of bounce back and forth. Who do you have taking the NL crown?
I have Showtime, Shohei Ohtani. It's kind of a given. Yeah. He's back at pitching, but despite that, he has 49 homers. That's still.
I mean,
you can't argue.
At the end of the day, homers matter.
Yeah, they do.
It's homers. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of it's homers, that's actually kind of the leading thought process between mine. I'm also going to go Cal. He is 54 home runs, 115 RBIs. A lot of people say, oh, but the batting average, Quite frankly, I don't care, because he is also playing really solid defense at catcher, and that does matter. Aaron Judge is a so-so defender, so I'm going to give it to Cal. Very quickly from the NL, I'm actually going to go back-to-back DHs winning. Kyle Schwarber, 52 home runs, just behind Cal Raleigh and ahead of Shohei Ohtani, 127 RBIs. He's also 4th in OPS at 940, so I really like what Schwarber's done this year, and the Phillies are just phenomenal. Evan, your thoughts on this?
Are we talking NL still?
Let's just both. We're knocking both out.
Both. All right, AL. Now, I will not play devil's advocate. Well, Aaron Judge.
Yep.
We gotta split the room a little bit. Yeah, he did miss some time, but he is also leading his team in every statistic by far. He is a powerhouse on that team, and I don't see anyone else, frankly, catching up to him. I mean, on that team, obviously, but it is close. It really is. But I have to give him the edge. 48 home runs, tied 8th RBIs. His OPS is great. He's first, 1.128. He just elevates the rest of the team like I've never seen. And, they're always a contender. The Yankees are never not a contender. They haven't. What's their playoff streak? I forgot.
I know it's like they missed the playoffs a few years ago, but I'm pretty sure it's 33 consecutive winning seasons at least.
So winning seasons.
Historically, a
Yes.
pretty good team. I'm surprised no one. Well, I don't know if I'm surprised. Juan Soto.
I have him.
Do you really?
NL MVP.
Yeah, NL. Okay, good. I'm sorry, I stole your thunder.
No, go for it.
Make your case for Juan Soto.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously his average hasn't been as good as you would want to have, but again, he's another person that leads his team in a lot of statistics, And the team is second in the division. They could make a push, and they're probably already in the playoffs. And I don't see them backing down at all. And a big part of their success is Juan Soto. And I think without him, they just simply wouldn't be the team they would be.
No, I absolutely agree. And we're going to kind of move along quickly. We're going to talk AL Cy Young now. Very briefly, who do you have taking home that title?
I mean, I feel like you have to give it to Tarek Skubal. He is pretty clearly the favorite. I mean, you can mention Garrett Crochet, but I feel like it is not a very close race. Looking to next season, I would like to mention Trevor Rogers having an incredible run with mind you, only 10 games with the Orioles. Has a 1.43 ERA and is one of the highest wins against replacements for any pitcher with only 10 games. While he's not going to win this season, I do look forward to him next season.
And to wrap it up, NL Cy Young over on this side.
I have Paul Skeens.
Of course.
I mean, he won Rookie of the Year last year. He has a 1.92 ERA in 30 games. That's just, he's a dog.
Yeah, it is simply phenomenal. But that is all the time we have for now. Thank you,
Thanks, guys.
both of you, for joining us so much. A team season melts down after just 3 games. We're going to discuss that and some fantasy football top performers and the biggest disappointments with a new segment after this.
Did you know that children growing up with poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children that grow up with good air quality? And unfortunately, poor communities have poor air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this. Today, the IQ Air Foundation provides filtration technology to schools with poor air quality through our Clean Air for Kids program. Our goal is to help over 50,000 school children every year breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, helping to level the playing field, reduce barriers to learning, reduce sick days, and increase test scores. Mitigating poor air quality is key to environmental justice. Help Clean Air for Kids reach more children at IQAirFoundation.org.
Without music on, check us truly at the 1975. Amen.
Jimmy can't sing, and Tommy can't dance. So we're gonna put some ants in their pants.
Kids will spend 22 minutes watching us, the super duper party troopers, sing about ants in their pants.
Isn't that funny? Ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants, they've got ants in their pants.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Welcome back. It's been quite a show, but it's time to have fun with a new segment this week and the return of a new fan favorite. As the NFL season starts, plenty of people, including myself, constantly look at our fantasy teams. These teams made us mad, happy, proud, disappointed, and everything in between. So, welcome to Evan's End Zone, where we're going to highlight a few players from this past Sunday that both topped their point estimation and scored way under. So, let's get cooking. But who cooked, you ask? Mr. Unlimited himself, Russell Wilson. I don't think anyone expected a subpar New York team to go toe-to-toe with the Cowboys, at least with that many points. Russ posted 30.2 fantasy points in PPR leagues. He went 30 for 41 with a whopping 450 yards and 3 touchdowns. The moonball is still there, and Cowboys fans are in shambles. We saw the Lions struggle in week 1 to score points, how they used to, frankly, but not this week. They put up a stellar 54 points against division rival Chicago Bears, who I may or may not have said would upset the Lions this week. Let's just forget about that. Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown combined for a whopping 83 fantasy points, which won a lot of leagues this week. Not mine, but that's okay. Amon-Ra now averages 23 points per game, which is encouraging for the boys in blue. With good comes bad in fantasy, especially when your quarterback is Jalen Hurts. Wink, wink. My underperformer this week is A.J. Brown, who unfortunately was one of my first draft picks. He more than tripled his week 1 fantasy points, but please take this with a grain of salt as he only got 7.7. Shoot, I might need to trade him soon. He's rostered in 99.7 of leagues, so he needs to step up in this Eagles offense. Well, we wrapped up this week, but next week is approaching fast, so I'm going to give you my fantasy player predictions for next week. It's one player, but look for Romeo Doubs next week when Green Bay plays Cleveland. Besides a Tucker Kraft breakout, I think Doubs will step up this year. He's rostered on 16% of teams, but has a 20.6 first read share. If the passing volume increases in Green Bay, I would expect Jordan Love to get him the ball. Well, with that being said, let's hand it over to Maddox, where things are getting hot.
Thank you, Evan, and we're going to stay on the negative side of things. It's about time to have a meltdown.
Okay, I'm ready.
There wasn't a great comeback this week, so it's not a game meltdown. This is a season meltdown, and I'm here to talk about the UCLA Bruins, who have been atrocious across the last 3 weeks. Week 1, lost to Utah. Week 2, lost to UNLV. Week 3, lost to New Mexico. A Big Ten team losing 2 games to the Mountain West. I guess the Mountain West may own the Big Ten. Apparently. Specifically, I would like to talk about their quarterback, who we talked about a lot last college football season. I'm going to attempt to announce his name. Nico Yamaleva. I probably got it wrong, but that's okay because he's playing very poor. 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions across the 3 games. That's a touchdown a game, that's an interception a game. For reference, Joey Aguilar, the man who replaced him, has 9 touchdowns and 2 interceptions across 3 weeks. So you can really see who won the transfer there. They fired their head coach, Deshaun Foster, 3 weeks into the season. This is a program that historically has a lot of pride and history throughout college football and college sports in general. So to see a team completely collapse after all the hype of the transfer, we knew maybe they weren't going to be that great, but we expected Nico to be really good for this team, and it's been horrible. And it's not looking much better. They still have to play number 2 Penn State, ranked Indiana, number 1 Ohio State, and ranked USC, who's all in the top 25. They're the only winless team in the Big Ten. Even Northwestern and Purdue have wins. And Purdue has been one of the worst college football teams, especially last year. And it has been an absolute disaster for the Bruins.
Seems like that.
It absolutely has been. They are going to get dominated throughout the rest of the season. Penn State is going to destroy them. Ohio State might hang 60 on them. There is no hope for this UCLA Bruins team as they have had a complete season meltdown just 3 weeks in. I wanted to maybe look at Jaguars Bengals and how they lost to a backup quarterback after picking him off 3 times. But no, UCLA, you have the absolute honor to be my choice for Miller's meltdown this week. have a great rest of your season, I guess. And maybe you can beat an unranked Big Ten team. Maybe you can beat Northwestern. Maybe you can salvage it. But after firing, go hire someone. It doesn't matter. UCLA has been mediocre for the past few years. Good luck to the Bruins for the rest of the year. And I don't know, maybe they can fill up more than half their stadium as the season goes on, but it's unlikely. But we are going to move on. As Evan mentioned, week 2 of the NFL season is come to a close, and we talked about fantasy, and a lot of us here have our own fantasy teams, and we've been reflecting on them a lot. So for tonight's end segment, we will find out how our Sports Corner team did and who makes or breaks their team. Evan, please start us off.
Okay, well, I didn't have anything really prepared, but that's okay. I think I remember my team. I don't really know how to talk about this, but I'm just going to go, look, Derrick Henry underperformed. He was another one of my top draft picks. Him and A.J. Brown both stunk. Lamar Jackson, pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know how Emeka Egbuka's doing. I don't really have a thing in there, but I've already lost. But I think the team's pretty good. I think I have a shot to, be all right. Maddox.
No, we absolutely share the same brain. I drafted A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry, and when you were talking about how much he sucked, I said, oh wait, yeah, he scored 7 points for me, and I said, wow, that's really bad for a number 1 draft pick. I had Jared Goff score 39 points on the bench. And so it's been I'm 1-0, soon to be 1-1, unless Cameron Dicker can score me about 20 points in tonight's Monday Night Football game. But that seems extremely unlikely. I would like to toss it over to the couch. Guys, how's the fantasy season looking for you guys?
I mean, it's all right. My teams are both mid. I had Puka. He got me like 20-some points, but the rest of the team is not doing great.
Brandon Aubrey for me got me 23 points, but I have A.J. Brown as well. Week 1 was terrible. I had A.J. Brown and Xavier Worthy. This week, not looking great unless Mike Evans can sell. Hopefully need Derek Stingley to step up, but that's really it. I got Bijan. Bijan's doing good.
I got to give a big shout out to Brandon Aubrey as well. I left Rome Odunze on the bench, 2 touchdown performances for the Bears, 31 fantasy points, but Aubrey picked it up with those 2 kicks, giving me 23 fantasy points, and I did end up winning.
I made a prop. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
We got to go quick, so we got to get the gauge.
Okay,
and stuff.
go
You got to get to the wall.
Wall. Oh, okay.
Hello, everyone. So, my Parma Flamingos took down Joey's super team. We put up 146. The guy started Purdy and he was hurt. Big shout out to the guy who let me draft Puka and St. Brown back to back.
So, I have a team called the Dogs, and this week they were some dogs. Hunter Henry, he only dropped
He's
1,
a
but
dog.
Chuba Hubbard, he had 18. My receivers did well. It's a nice bounce back week after losing in week 1.
Well, it seems like we're kind of doing mediocre on the fantasy scene. It seems like the sports people here may be struggling in the fantasy world, but it will get better.
Right.
I promise.
There's plenty of weeks to go, and we'll come back and talk about it, but that'll do it for this edition of Sports Corner. Thank you so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, head over to kentstater.com and be sure to tune into Overtime right here every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm Maddox Miller.
And I'm Evan Schofield saying from the opening play to the final call, the Kent Stater Sports Network covers it all. Good night. Hey, I was trying to get a thought because
it was a show of all time.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
New data about safety and effectiveness can come to light. The FDA keeps track of that new data, which can come from patients, drug makers, or healthcare professionals, and may include information about negative reactions to prescriptions. Based on this information, the FDA may recommend that the drug maker update the drug labeling by adding warnings or updated dosage information. Changes could also include the FDA requesting a drug recall. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Every year, 4.5 million young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 visit the ER.
It's every parent's nightmare.
You merge Umergency gives you all the tools you need to quickly and effectively manage your family's emergency. Umergency provides instant access to vital resources, customized to your student's campus and local community, digital consent form, and built-in urgent alert button. Umergency gives you peace of mind when you need it most. Download your Umergency app now.
When you throw away money on wasted electricity, you're throwing away everything you could have bought with it. Saving energy saves you money.